All right, we're up to number 5 on how to keep Shabbat, how to reach a level of closeness to God through Shabbat. And this is very exciting because Shabbat is really one of the foundation of Judaism and of our relationship with God. So, first of all, we have to say that the laws of Shabbat are many. There are a lot of laws, but one has to be careful not to be caught up in all those laws and think of Shabbat or Shabbos as something restrictive and something just meant to just crush us. The purpose of Shabbos is to actually help us be disconnected from everything that exists out there, in the sense that anything that is controlled by human beings, and therefore that everything that requires human intervention, we're going to be very careful, because we want to reconnect to the original state of Adam in paradise, in Gan Eden, where it was clear that everything comes from God. So the Shabbos is based on that experience of the creation of the world and the perfection of the world. And basically it's a reminder, it's a testimony and a reminder of us Jews showing the world that there is a purpose to the world, there is a creator of the world, and we have to make sure we stay connected to that purpose until we reach the final destination. So Shabbat has a lot of laws that enables us to reach that state of consciousness and connection with God. So just like there's laws of traffic or laws of basketball, which there are hundreds of those, right? So same thing, Shabbos or Shabbat is going to have a lot of laws, but one should approach it in a way as a type of tools for us to be able to reach a state. So the way I like to call it is the 39 step to Shabbos, which have 39 steps to reach that level called Shabbos and be really connected to God and the purpose of creation. So God created the world in 6 days. On the 7th day he stopped creating, and he enabled us to experience the world in its perfect state, so that we can on our own reach that state and elevate it higher. Now, Adam and Eve when they sinned, they were punished with 39 curses, 39 limitations, if you want to put it like that. And that's why on Shabbos we have 39 melachos, 39 works that we cannot do, because we are trying to show that God is completely in charge of everything, and we try to taste the world of paradise before the sin of Adam. So without those 39 curses. Now, we say curses, but obviously there are, when we speak about curse in Judaism, it's a curse that can be reversed, meaning there is a blockage and we need to fix it and to reach the other side, which is blessing. So Shabbos is the source of blessing for everything in our life and for every week. So there are 39 steps to achieve that. I'm not going to list the 39. You can look online. There are 39 steps to keep Shabbat. And from those 39, a lot of little rules derivative from those laws instituted by the rabbis to be able to reach really that state. But what I just want to say is that when you do Shabbat, you're trying to stop creation, stop everything you do, disconnect from the world, disconnect from the way the world understands itself to be run, and you try to, it's a 24-hour day of meditation when you learn about who God is, you learn about who you are, where do I come from, where am I going, am I growing, am I changing, is my week different than the previous week, am I wasting my life, am I becoming a more refined human being. And we spend 24 hours learning about ourselves, learning about the world, learning about God, but we try to do it in a way that is very natural. We don't use electricity, we're not supposed to cook, we're not supposed to drive, we're not supposed to go on social media, use electricity, because the whole purpose is to connect with just the reality of the world and be aware that absolutely everything that we do during the week we're only able to do it because God gives us the strength and the ability to do it. It's all a gift. And also that God is really, even though we're so involved in the world, God really controls everything. Even when we go to work, the money is coming from God, and if God wanted, He could remove all that money from us. So we spend most of our Shabbos praying and eating and learning. Those are the three main things. The sleeping is nice, but the people sometimes make a mistake and they spend the whole Shabbos sleeping. That's a waste of Shabbos. Shabbos' purpose is to connect. So we disconnect from the world to reconnect to God and to the true reality, the reality of the Torah. We put new glasses and look at the world the way it is really supposed to be and become. So what do? We have a prayer on Friday night to welcome the Shabbos. There's something very spiritual happening on Shabbos, and we try to connect to it. Then we go home and make a meal. We say a kiddush, a blessing over the wine and over the bread, and we celebrate life. We celebrate all the things we have. We celebrate everything that we received during our past week, and we share it with friends, with people. We try to invite people who don't have much to eat if we can, or people who are alone. It's a moment of connection. We try to connect with the world, create unity, create love, and we sing and we eat delicious food. We celebrate life, everything that happened in the past week. Then, you can celebrate life in general. It doesn't have to be the past week. And then, if we're on a very high level, we eat. We spend the rest of the night learning as much as we can, at least. But at least learning a little bit is very recommended. Friday night is very spiritual. And then we go to sleep, have a nice night's sleep, and in the morning we have another prayer, and that prayer helps us connect to God on an even high level. Then we eat a special meal, and during that meal we usually celebrate the future to come, our visions, we're not allowed to plan physical things, but we can plan who we want to be and how we want to grow and what we want to learn, and we read the Torah. Obviously, before the meal, I forgot to mention, we read the Torah, which is very important. Every week we read on Shabbat, we read a portion of the Torah, and that portion of the Torah teaches us secrets about of the previous week and the following week. And God talks to us through the Torah, and we have to try to connect through our learning what God wants us to know. So we have the meal, we said, and then the afternoon is a great time for meditating, learning, connecting with people. And then a little bit later in the afternoon is the third prayer, where we read also a portion of the Torah, very short. And after that, we have a third meal again. That meal is very unique, and the idea is that we eat not just because we're hungry. We eat for the purpose of elevating food. We eat because we're here to elevate the world, and the whole idea of Shabbat is to connect the physical and the spiritual together. And we show that our purpose for eating food is not just physical. In the summer is more obvious because, in the winter is more obvious because the day is very short, so we eat even though we're not hungry because we just ate 2-3 hours ago. And then the last step is when sunset comes, we do a last prayer with the Ma'ariv, the concluding prayer, and we do Havdalah, which is a prayer that finishes Shabbat. I forgot to mention that being Shabbat start at sunset, and at sunset we are not allowed to do anything. We have the 2 candles that we light before Shabbat are supposed to be lit before sunset, and we keep 24 hours of Shabbat, and we stop an hour after sunset. And the reason it's an hour after is because there's a debate when sunset really begins and ends, and therefore we make sure to end it up according to all opinions. So we end up it's about an hour after sunset. There are special times that you can check online. Those are the main things about Shabbat. But if you want to really understand what you need to do and not to do, check online the 39 works of Shabbat, 39 melachos of Shabbat, and there is going to tell you all the details about what you can do or what you cannot do. If we'll go through it, it'll take a few hours. So don't get overwhelmed because there's a lot of them. But as you learn it, understand that even though it might look like it doesn't make sense, I'm just give a simple example. You're not supposed to tear up toilet paper where the lines are, because it's you're trying to cut for a precise measure. You're not allowed to measure and cut a specific measured piece on Shabbat. Now it sounds ridiculous, literally, from a pure physical perspective, but there are really deep secrets and great lessons in all those seemingly unimportant laws. And if you learn them, you'll really be very impressed, and you'll love Shabbat. So enjoy Shabbat, and please send me questions if you have.